Yeah, 100%. The trophy is the toughest event in timber sports. You got to be on your game and pretty hard on the body.
You could see Lawrence O'Toole's axe. He's so good.
The trophy format is a grueling experience. It's pretty cool to put 4 events back to back to back, but by the end of it, you definitely feel it.
Something that I haven't won. Another pinnacle of STIHL timber sports and timber sports all around. Yeah, something I really want to win.
It's a personal best, but it's not good enough to beat Jason Lentz.
It means a lot to me. It's sort of, I guess it's based over the 4 disciplines in wood chopping and timber sports. So, you know, I guess you find out who the champ is.
No, and Jordan's managed to get below a minute time.
Die Trophy bedeutet für mich, ja, sehr, sehr viel. Das ist alles vom Körper abverlangt. Das ist ein wahnsinnig hartes Format. Das kommt alles zusammen, 4 Disziplinen in einem. Es muss alles zusammen fungieren. Der Körper muss über seine Grenzen hinausgehen, dass man wirklich abliefern kann.
Rotterdam, 100 Seebootloads, the STIHL Timbersports World Trophy 2023. Here's how it works. The STIHL Timbersports Trophy competition. In the trophy format, athletes have to complete 4 disciplines back to back. After the start, they need to cut a complete disc with the stock saw within a 10-centimeter area. From there, the athletes have to complete the underhand chop as quickly as possible. Only after they split the block can they return to the starting point, where this time, the single buck is waiting for them to cut 1 complete cookie. In the final discipline, the athletes have to complete the standing block chop in order to achieve the best possible overall time. Any rule infraction will result in a disqualification and the athlete will be eliminated. All participants must first demonstrate their skills in the time trial. The better the athletes perform in the time trial, the easier their first elimination round will be. The athletes now continue to compete in a knockout system through the quarterfinals and semifinals. The losers of the semifinals will fight for the last podium spot in the small final. After that, the 2 winners of the semifinals will compete one more time to see who takes the title. All right, let's meet our guys. Representing Australia, Lawrence O'Toole. For Belgium, Koen Martens. France, Pierre Barret. For Germany, Danny Martin. For Poland, Mikael Dubicki. Got 2 Swedes in the mix today, Emil Hansen and Ferry Svan. For the United States, it's big Jason Lentz. And of course, the local hero, Redmar Knoll. And the defending champion, Jack Jordan from New Zealand. One of many favorites. Throw a dart and you could hit a winner.
Ferry Svan, he's going to be tough. Emil Hansen, he's tough. Mikael Dubicki, tough. Yeah, there's quite a range of athletes that they're all going to be gunning for that gold medal.
It's always hard to say who's going to win. I mean, there's a fair few of us that turn up to win, so it's just a little bit of luck on the day, and hopefully it'll be me.
I would be lying if I didn't say me.
3 favorites, Jack Jordan, Jason Lentz and Lawrence O'Toole.
I think Jack Jordan, Lawrence O'Toole, and Jason Lentz are very strong competitors, so take your pick.
He's doing a fantastic job. 3 favorites emerge here in Rotterdam. Lawrence O'Toole, Jason Lentz, and defending champion Jack Jordan.
Obviously, probably got the same expectations as a lot of guys here to win. I'm backing myself to win it this year again.
And of course, there's the competition from Europe, Svan, Hansen, and Dubicki. After the time trial, New Zealand's Jack Jordan underscores his claim to defend the title by racking up the fastest time. Mikael Dubicki from Poland and young Ferry Svan from Sweden reaffirm their positions as the strongest Europeans. Jack Jordan, with the best time in the time trial, will go head-to-head with the last-ranked Jeff Larkin in the round of 16. We'll also see some interesting heats here. Jason Lentz and Pierre Barret in heat number 3. Dubitsky and Kugler going up against each other in Heat 5. And I'm looking forward to seeing Red McNoll going up against Danny Martin in the final heat, heat number 8, as we see Jack Jordan and Jeff Larkin coming up on stage now to begin their competition with each other. A little bit surprising to see the Canadian athlete leave this competition so early, but it was all Jack Jordan in this one as he walked all the way to the end with no problems at all. Oh, but that was a major mishap that could have gone really ugly for Jack Jordan.
It was fast. Faster. Jack had a good run. Laid some hits in. Good to the single buck and standing. I just lost my endurance. So.
Next up, Matthias Klima going up against Lawrence O'Toole. Matthias in a tough one here against a man who is very well prepared for these types of events. He's got pedigree when it comes to the trophy. And moving over to the underhand chop, Lawrence O'Toole gets in there, but Matthias Klima sticking with him pretty much very well. In fact, as they're pushing each other, Matthias Klima making sure to keep Lawrence O'Toole honest as they get to the single buck. But this is an area where Lawrence O'Toole is just so strong, and that gave him the advantage as he heads over to the standing block chop, and this one went to O'Toole in the end.
Řízl jsem trochu hůř singleback než Lorenz. Slyšel jsem ho, jak už jde na standing, tak jsem to zkoušel dohnat, ale nevyšlo to a na underhandu jsem se taky zasekal trochu.
Nice kid, Matthias Klima. Next up, Pierre Puy-Barré going up against Jason Lenz. I said this was going to be an interesting one. Let's see how this paired out as these two guys, two different styles on that stock saw as they get that first cut down and heading straight over to the underhand chop in line with each other. It's actually Puy-Barré from France who gets started on the underhand first, and he gets through the underhand a little bit faster. Well, no, it's on time with Jason Lenz. Here's where it could be the advantage to Pierre Puy-Barré, as Jason Lenz was a little bit slower on that single block, but Jason Lenz is so strong in the standing block chop. Does he have a chance to catch up here against the Frenchman Puy-Barré, who's looking very good and very fit in the competition so far? Onto the second side, and it's actually Lenz with the advantage now, who's moved over to that second side a bit earlier than the Frenchman, and it is Jason Lenz who takes this one down and knocks Pierre Puy-Barré out of the competition. Then we have Emil Hansen going up against Ollie Reinhardt, both extremely young and already having gone pro. These two guys looking to battle each other in this discipline. I love the format as well, as both of them are looking great on the underhand chop. Emil Hansen moving off the underhand over to the single buck first. Ollie Reinhardt stepping down but gets through and then steps over to that single buck. Last year, Ollie cut himself badly and had to end the competition early, but this year he looks very good. Bit of a strange position on his single buck, but it's Emil Hansen winning this one and eliminating Ollie Reinhardt from competition in the round of 16.
Also für mich, es war eine Top-Leistung, es war wirklich geil, es hat praktisch alles funktioniert, also der Underhand, dort bin ich schnell gestolpert, aber ich glaube, das gehört dazu und nächstes Jahr komme ich stärker wieder.
Heat number 5, we have Armin Kugler going up against Mika Dubitsky. These guys have battled each other many a time before, both of them very, very strong. Through the stock saw, heading over to the underhand. They're both with each other on time. First drivers go in for Mika Dubitsky, Armin Kugler. Both of them working hard here. Dubitsky through the underhand and over to single buck. Armin Kugler strong in single buck, but he just wasn't fast enough, and Dubitsky had the wind and the power on the standing block. Dubitsky is a murderer, and he gets through there in no time flat to take out Armin Kugler from the competition and move on to the next round.
Michael Dubicki ist in einer unglaublichen Form. Er hat einfach abgeliefert. An der Singleback hatte ich die größten Probleme. Die ist einfach für das Holz ein bisschen zu aggressiv. Das Holz ist wirklich weich und schnell. Das lässt einiges zu, aber ich habe es einfach nicht ganz hundertprozentig hinbekommen.
Next up, we have Jacek Grunwald going up against Koen Martens. Koen Martens, a solid competitor as always, but near home soil, he's going to want to do as well as he possibly can as they head over to the underhand chop as that cookie rolls away into the sunlight, or the sunset, I should say. Jacek Grunwald Very, very solid competitor, but Koen Martens onto that second side ahead of Jesse Grunwald. Grunwald threw the underhand chop first, though, heading over to the single buck, and this is where the advantage falls into Grunwald's hand because it was Koen Martens struggling to get through those final drivers on the underhand, to move himself over to that single buck, and now he is really behind the 8-ball as Grunwald moves on to that standing block chop with a huge lead already on the second side there, and Grunwald wins it. And that eliminates Koen Martens from competition. Heat number 7, second to last one. Again, we got Ferry Swan going up against Guillaume from France. Guillaume, a solid stock sawyer. Right there, though, on the underhand, he is with Ferry Swan. The two of them are neck and neck on the underhand, both moving over to the other side of their blocks at the same time. But it's Ferry Swan who's a bit quicker on the second side, moving over to that single buck, and he is very good in the single buck. So if he can keep that saw flowing and going, he should move on to the standing block well ahead of Guillaume. He does, in fact, do that. Guillaume starting on the first side as Ferry Swan is already almost all the way through that second side. Good time for Ferry Swan, eliminating the Frenchman from competition, and you can see some French fans are kind of disappointed there. All right, last heat of the day, Danny Martin from Germany going up against Redmer Knoll from the Netherlands. And the loudest cheer of the day definitely round up when we saw Redmer Knoll come out onto the stage. Good start by both Danny Martin and Redmer Knoll. Danny Martin is a specialist with the motor saw in hand, and they both move over to the underhand chop, simultaneously driving into that block together. Redmer looking good, Danny looking good. Redmer's onto the other side, 1.5, 2 drivers ahead of Danny Martin, who's going to get through there and head over to that single buck first. And it looks like it might be Danny Martin, but we're close on it here. Let's see. No, it's going to be Redmer Knoll. Excuse me. I miscalled that one. One driver back is Danny Martin, but this is a tight heat as Redmer Knoll gets to the bottom of that cut. Danny Martin struggling a little bit. He is down there too, so this one's going to be a horse race at the end on the standing block chop. It's all about who's got the block, who's got the win, and who's got the axe. Redmer Knoll, Danny Martin, it's anybody's guess here. Redmer Knoll looking a little bit tired as he moved over to the other side. Danny Martin opting to go for a few extra hits on that first side. Will it be Redmer or will it be Danny? It's going to be Redmer Knoll winning this one, and that is a great result for Redmer, and that's going to be a huge boost to his confidence.
Ja, eigentlich ist es ganz gut für mich gelaufen. Waren ein paar kleine Fehler gewesen und am Ende waren 2-3 Sekunden, die ich leider hinter ihm lag.
Here we have the results after the round of 16. The favorites managing to step out into the front. Now in the quarterfinal, Jack Jordan will go up against Lawrence O'Toole. Lentz, the American, will be contending with Emil Hansen from Sweden. The third quarterfinal is a Polish duel, Dubicki going up against Grunwald. And the last heat will be Ferry Swan going head-to-head with Redmer Knoll from the Netherlands. So defending world champion Jack Jordan is in tip-top shape, and he is the one to beat in Rotterdam to win the World Trophy.
I'll do the same as last year, but better. I've put a lot of hard work and training into this, so the idea is to go out there and do everything to the best of my abilities.
It's going to be a close one, and it's going so quickly here for Jack Jordan. Jason Lentz coming hard from the back end. One more driver, and it's going to be Jack Jordan! He is your new champion in the trophy format!
The man to beat, Jack Jordan, is starting this quarterfinal against Lawrence O'Toole from Australia. And as I said, Lawrence O'Toole has pedigree in this format. He knows exactly what he needs to do to win here. And against a younger Jack Jordan, well, age may play a role. Let's see if Jack can do it again, or if Lawrence O'Toole is going to dash his dreams.
3, 2, 1, go!
Both of them up clean on that stock saw. Watch the cut from O'Toole. He drops it, moves over quickly to the underhand chop. Jack missing the axe on his way in. Ooh! And that cookie rolled by very precariously in front of the axe. Luckily, he didn't drive into it on that first cut. And both of them moving over to the other side of that underhand chop simultaneously. Lawrence O'Toole looking very good. Jack Jordan also looking very good, but it's Jack Jordan getting through the cut first to go to the single buck. Lawrence O'Toole is solid in single buck. We know this. Oh, but he got a bit sticky there on the start of the cut. Jack looking very good as he gets to the bottom and now heads over to the standing block chop. This is really all about the endurance now, and Lawrence O'Toole looks like he might be a bit tired. Lawrence O'Toole starting in on his block as Jack Jordan moves over to the first drivers on the second side of his block. Jack Jordan with the definite advantage here. Lawrence O'Toole on the second side of his. Could he have a lucky driver? Nope, not in this case. Jack Jordan wins this one and eliminates Lawrence O'Toole from the competition in the quarterfinals. Wow, what a heat that was though. Clean cuts by both of these guys, and it was a race from the beginning for both of them. Jack knowing he had a great competitor against him on stage. No hesitation at all from either of these guys, putting everything they had into it. Jack Jordan will be the one moving on.
All right, and the winner is Jack Jordan.
I went pretty good there, you know. I was sort of struggling a bit all day yesterday and, you know, probably not my best there, but Jack's a top-notch competitor. It's pretty hard coming up against him so early in the competition.
All right, second heat in the quarterfinal brings Jason Lenz versus Emil Hansen. We saw last year Jason Lenz was battling against Jack Jordan in the final, so he needs to get past Emil Hansen here today to have a chance.
2, 1, go!
Great start by Lenz on that stock saw. Emil Hansen going for a thin cut. A smart play by Jason Lenz to cut that cookie a bit thicker. It would make the cut a bit slower, but it'll give that option of a thinner cookie for his single buck. On the underhand chop, Emil Hansen very good. Huge sticky axe though as he got it around to the other side, and both these guys working on that second side quite frantically. See who's going to get through first because both of them are very good in single buck, and it looks like it's going to be Emil Hansen. Oh, Emil looks like he broke through it, but was second guessing that cut and had to go for one more driver, and now moves over to the single buck. Both of them looking a little bit sketchy on the start of the single buck. Jason Lenz finally gets it moving, but Emil Hansen has the advantage towards the bottom, and he's got the faster cut, stepping over to the standing block chop now, and here is where we know that Jason Lenz is an absolute master. Emil Hansen, lots of power from that young man as well. Look at the pieces flying into the air. Unbelievable what these guys are doing on stage here. Emil Hansen, Jason Lenz, it's a close one here between these two. It may be anybody's guess. Oh, Emmy's got a wiggy one, but it's Jason Lenz just by one driver winning this one and eliminating Emil Hansen. So this heat was more or less neck and neck right from the start. Both of these guys dropping their saws and heading over to the underhand chop at roughly the same time. On the underhand chop itself, they were both cutting pretty on pace with each other. Look at this camera work right there. Fantastic. Tracking these guys up onto the block for the underhand. The difference here for Emil Hansen was his final driver. You see it right there. The block looked split, but then he didn't see it. Wasn't confident. Went for one more hit, and that was it.
All right, and the winner is Jason Lenz.
Ja, det var ganska tufft. Det är tufft motstånd jag hade där mot Jason Lenz. Jag har haft lite strul i försäsongen med sjukdom. Så jag känner att styrkan inte riktigt var där. Jag var trött inför det race i armarna.
All right, next heat is a purely Polish duel. Mikael Dubicki going up against Jacek Grunwald. So only one Pole will end up going to the next round. Will it be Grunwald or will it be Dubicki? Dubicki's been super solid in this discipline, or in this format, excuse me. Grunwald, smart play by him as well to make a thick cut on the stock saw to leave a little less material on the single buck. Now here's where it could be a difference maker. Jacek Grunwald very strong, but Mikael Dubicki on these chopping disciplines is an absolute beast. You can see them both working hard. Mikael Dubitsky on the far side of the screen now. Jacek Grunwald right there in front of you. Dubitsky through first, going over to the single buck. Jacek Grunwald, he's got a bit of a hard second side here as he's still trying to find his way through that block. And Dubitsky's at the midpoint of his single buck. A quick look back by Jacek Grunwald to see what was going on with that. And he starts the cut on the single buck. Very choppy and slow. Now he's got that flow going as Mikael Dubitsky's already moved over to his favorite discipline, the standing block. Onto the second side for Dubitsky. Jacek Grunwald joins him on the standing block though, but definite advantage goes to Dubitsky here as that's getting loose on top. One more driver. Ooh, no, it's going to be a small hit there, and Dubitsky eliminates Jacek Grunwald from competition here in the quarterfinals. Last minute checks by our referees on stage to make sure all cuts are fair and everything looked good, and it seems like it did as we take a look at the slow-mo here. Nice cut there from Dubitsky on that stock saw on the underhand chop. You could see he's just so powerful. Even with that knot, that dark spot in his wood, he's got that cut through. Jacek Grunwald struggling a little bit on that last side. Takes a quick look back to see what it looks like as he heads over to the single buck. And then it was these final blows here. Look at that, a thread holding on to it. Dubitsky sees it, makes the cut, and it's done and dusted for Jacek Grunwald.
Okay, the winner is Mikael Dubitsky.
Redmer Knoll is the local hero here at the World Trophy 2023.
Hello, my name is Redmer Knoll from the Netherlands, and I'm competing in the World Trophy. I had some good preparation and good training, so I'm ready for it.
Redmer Knoll wechselt auf die Gegenseite. Redmer Knoll gewinnt! 1:15:60.
I hope to get a new PB. That's the main thing, and then I will see where I end up.
Redmer has put in an outstanding performance at the World Trophy 2023 so far. He's defeated the reigning German champion Danny Martin, and now he's in the quarterfinals. Now we have him up against Ferry Svan from Sweden, one of the most fit athletes on the tour.
Ready! Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Good start by Redmer. Ferry a little bit of a tricky lift on his first cut there. Redmer with the advantage as he heads over to the underhand chop, just ahead of Ferry Svan by 1.5 strokes, or drivers if you prefer. Ferry Svan quick with that axe though. Steps down, gotta be careful, steps down again. His balance is not on point today. Knoll moves over to the other side. Svan steps down, he's made a mistake, a massive mistake. He left his stock saw running, needed to go back and turn it off before he could continue cutting. That may well be a DQ for Ferry Svan. Huge advantage here for Redmer Knoll now as he split his block and moves over to the single buck. And what's happened here is Ferry Svan's whole routine has been put off. Redmer Knoll well in advance now as Ferry Svan's joined him on the single buck. Redmer going for those long strokes, clean final cut, and over to the standing block chop. This could very well mean that Redmer is going to be into that semifinal. We'll have to see what the judges say at the end of this heat here, but Redmer Knoll looking very good as he moves over to the second side of his block. 2 strokes ahead of Ferry Svan, who has now moved to the second side of his block. Interesting turn of events between these two guys. Ferry Svan, an unusual mistake by him leaving that saw running, and it's Redmer Knoll who takes this one down to the delight of the Dutch fans. They are on their feet for Redmer. Take a look back at this here. So the cut was a really ugly start for Ferry Svan. He just wasn't on with his preparation today. Redmer Knoll clean off the mark there, heads over. Ferry left that saw running He stepped down a couple of times on the first side of his block here. When he turned around, he realized the saw was still running, so he had to go back and turn it off. But by that point, I believe that counts as a DQ because it has to be done before you leave your position. Meanwhile, Red McNull just did his job and kept going, a little bit sticky on that single buck, but he did get it running finally. And then it was all just education after that, putting the words to the axe and cutting that block off the top. So here's the picture after the quarterfinals, and in the semifinal we have Jack Jordan against Jason Lenz from the US. The second semifinal will be between Mika Dubitsky and the local hero Red McNull. Who will make it to the finals of the STIHL Timbersports World Trophy 2023? Well, that remains to be seen. Jack Jordan and Jason Lenz competed against each other in last year's World Trophy as well, that time in the finals.
Seen Jack Jordan a couple times. Of course, he won it last year. Beat me in the finals.
This is what we've been waiting for all day long today.
The final, gosh, it's a pretty tough race, so I was quite lucky to get the win there.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Great start by both of them, two different styles.
Jack, he's an awesome competitor, he's tough.
Jack Jordan looking good. Jason Lenz getting close. Jack Jordan's through, moving over to the single buck. One more driver, and it's going to be Jack.
Yeah, it was great. Awesome feeling. You know, to get a reward like winning, it's unbelievable.
It's you against the other person, and yeah, you got to be tougher than that guy.
All right, last year's final lineup is a semifinal. This year, as you heard from our interview previous, Jack Jordan going up against Jason Lenz. Jason's got to have a little kernel of doubt in his head that Jack Jordan will take him down again, and Jack Jordan's going to know that there's a target on his back from Jason Lenz to get through into the final. Here we go. Again, Jason Lenz quick with the saw on that first cut. Both of them cut through at the same time, though. Over onto the underhand chop, and Jack Jordan with a half-stroke start advantage on the underhand. It looks very good for Jason Lenz here as he switched over to the other side of his block quickly. Shallower, narrower cut on the first side, wider on the second side for Jason Lenz. Jack Jordan clean through, heading over to the single buck now. Good, solid start for Jordan as Lenz has now moved over to his single buck. A lot of junk on the floor there. You got to watch out that you're not slipping on that sawdust. And Jordan with a very nice lead as he heads over to the standing block chop. He's really put Jason Lenz under a lot of pressure onto the second side as Lenz is on his first side, but we do know that Lenz is an absolute beast on this discipline, often anchoring the team here on standing block chop. He's got a lot of work to do, but I think Jack Jordan's got this one done and dusted, and he does. Jack Jordan wins it, eliminating Jason Lenz in this semifinal, which means Jason Lenz will have to battle in the small final for third position in the competition here today. And that block is just not releasing for Jason Lenz at all. Almost like Jason gave up on trying once he saw that Jack Jordan cut through that block on his side. Watch this again and see where this one was actually finished. So both these guys had real good cuts on stock saw. Jason Lenz was actually faster to get up top, but the cut was quicker and cleaner by Jack Jordan. On the underhand chop, Jordan and Lenz were both very good on the first side. It was just the second side is the difference maker here. Jordan was through, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 drivers before Jason Lenz got away from that block, which gave him a huge advantage on the single buck and then finally on the standing block. See the focus there by Jack Jordan on the standing block, that final driver, that did it for him.
All right, and the winner is Jack Jordan.
disappointed Jason Lenz leaving the stage there, but he's going to have to come back for one more battle. Meanwhile, semifinal number 2 between Redmar Knoll and Mika Dubicki. This should be a major battle for Redmar Knoll here, especially against Dubicki because he is such a strong competitor.
Athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, that was close to being a DQ for Dubicki, who had his hand down on the saw. He did get it back up on time for the whistle to go. Redmar Knoll, a good clean cut, heading over to the underhand chop, starts ahead of Dubicki by 1 stroke. Will this be the advantage for Redmar? He needs to keep going hard on this one. Dubicki did have a bit of a sticky axe there, but we know that Dubicki's a powerhouse. Redmar Knoll onto the other side of his block. Dubicki on the second side of his block. Who will cut through first? It's Dubicki. Knoll, he's got a sticky second side right now, but he's not that far behind Dubicki as he moves on to single buck. Redmar Knoll very good in this discipline here, and he is going knuckles to tip. Dubicki doing the same. He's cut through, and now Dubicki onto his favorite discipline, the standing block chop, where he is very, very good. Knoll right there with him. He's going to have to push hard here now for Dubicki to get caught up to and maybe beat the big man from Poland. Redmar Knoll doing a great job here. He's got lots of support from the crowd in the stands and around the area here. Dubicki almost through. Couple more drivers for Dubicki should do it. Redmar Knoll is doing a great job. Might catch up. No, it's not going to happen. Dubicki wins this one, eliminates Redmar Knoll in the semifinal, and that means it's only 2 drivers back, in fact, and that means Knoll will battle for 3rd place against big Jason Lenz in the small final. A really good start by Redmar Knoll on the stock saw, and both those cookies dropped. Well, actually, Redmar Knoll had a slight advantage after stock saw, but Dubicki was just so much faster on the underhand chop. You can see the frequency of his drivers, 1.5 strokes faster than Knoll as they move over to the single buck. They were in sync with each other almost throughout the entire heat here. And here we have that final driver from Dubicki. So much power, and he moves on to the final.
All right, and the winner is Michael Dubicki.
Ik moest tegen Danny en ik denk Nederland-Duitsland, dit moet ik winnen. Dus, en toen tegen Ferry. Ik had niet verwacht dat ik die van hem kon winnen. Waarschijnlijk maakte hij een foutje, ik heb het nog niet teruggezien. En toen tegen Michael Dubicki. Nou ja, voor de rest was het allemaal bonus.
So Jason Lenz and Redmar Knoll will be fighting it out for 3rd place in the small final, and Jack Jordan and Michael Dubicki will be competing for the World Trophy 2023 in the main final. All right, folks, let's get it on here with our small final. This one is for who will take 3rd place in the bronze medal here at this World Trophy 2023. Redmar Knoll has been on fire all day long today, but the tail of the tape definitely has the advantage going to Jason Lenz, who has got this discipline or this format finished in under a minute's time. So that will push Redmar Knoll to hopefully get a personal best himself, if not a win here. Let's see how it goes.
To your timber. 3, 2, 1, go.
Good start again by both of these guys. Their pickup and first cut looks very good. Jason slightly ahead of Redmar, but they're syncing up on the underhand chop here. Redmar, nice cuts there. Big chips flying off of that block. He's over to the other side first. Did he go too early? There's a lot of material left on that first side. Jason Lenz about half a stroke to 1 stroke behind Redmar Knoll on the second side. A bit sticky for Jason Lenz there as well. And it looks like that one's wiggling for Redmar Knoll. And it looks like Jason Lenz got through there first. Surprising, I thought that was wiggly for Redmar Knoll, but it was 2.5, 3 strokes back. And now moving over to the single buck. Don't want to get that thing stuck up too much, and Redmar gets it going. Jason is tired. You can see he's tired, and he is bowing that saw out big time. That's why they call it the misery whip. Redmar had to step back and reposition, and Jason moves over to the standing block chop. He's got his back turned to Redmar Knoll, so he doesn't know what's happening, and I don't think he really cares at this point. He just wants to get through this event and get the 3rd place, but he's still got to contend with the standing block chop. Redmar is pooped. You can see he is gassed out, barely has any power left. Same thing for Jason Lenz, and these guys are giving it everything they have just to finish this competition. Jason Lenz, one last driver. He's got it. 3rd place in the bronze medal belongs to the big man from the USA, and Redmar Knoll with a fantastic run today. 4th place for him. He would have liked to have gotten better, but as you heard from his interview, that was a bonus to go up against Michał Dubicki, and being here in this small final, he'll be happy with that result all day long. You can see here, oh yeah, I thought that was wiggling, but he just had a few more drivers to go. It was like 2.5 drivers, and both of these guys really just struggling on the single buck. Started off chunky for Redmer. You could see Jason Lenz whipping that saw out, and there's that final driver. And I think there's some relief that went through Jason Lenz's head on that one.
It was good. Started out slow, a bit nervous there the first couple races. Then went up against Jack Jordan. He's a hell of an athlete, young, great underhand cutter, great up-and-comer in the sport. He actually beat me last year here on this stage, and he spanked me again this year, but yeah, it's always good to compete and against Redmer there. Unfortunate for him there in the small final. I ended up beating him, but it's good for a countryman to be in his hometown and be competing for a chance at the podium, you know.
Who do you think will win the World Trophy?
Who? That's a tough question.
Ich hätte am ehesten den Jack Jordan ganz oben auf der Liste.
I think Jack Jordan will win it again.
I think there will be Michał Dubicki.
Michał Dubicki, he's going to be tough.
Unbelievable, Dubicki over to the other side. Redmer Knoll right there with him.
Pour le favori, je pense Jack Jordan, comme l'an dernier.
And there it is, Jack Jordan moves to the final.
Ja, ich glaube sicher, Jack Jordan ist da großer Favorit.
All right, here they come. This is the final. Michał Dubicki from Poland going up against New Zealand's Jack Jordan, the defending champion at the World Trophy format. It all comes down to this heat. Who will be your new World Trophy champion? Will it be the man in black? Or will it be the big man from Poland? Let's see. As the tension mounts for both of these guys, getting ready to put it all on the stage in one final heat here in Rotterdam.
Ready!
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Jack Jordan with a lightning fast lift and placement on that saw. Michał Dubicki with a good cut though, and they both head over to the underhand chop, more or less on point with each other. Look at the speed of Michał Dubicki though. He's going to make it hard for Jack Jordan in this final. Jack Jordan moving over to the other side, just a half stroke behind Dubicki. And Dubicki just hammering away at that block. Jack Jordan with some pace as well as they both go through and lock in their axes in the safety blocks at the same time. Moving over to the single buck. This is now become a horse race and they both know it. Ooh, a little bit of a bow on that single buck by Jack Jordan. Cost him some time. Michał Dubicki moving over to the standing block chop. 1, 2, 3 strokes ahead of Jack Jordan. Jack Jordan into it now. He's going to have to cut short on the first side probably to get to the other side at the same time. Slipped a little bit on a piece of wood on the floor. Could be a troublesome day for Jack Jordan here. Will he manage to get through? Oh my God, what a driver by Jack Jordan. It is a new world record and a season's best. Unbelievable finish by the New Zealand native. Oh, wow, what a race that was. It could have been anybody's race. Dubicki was right there, but Jack Jordan did it, and he takes home a world record. Fantastic final here in Rotterdam. It doesn't get better than that. Check this out. Those cookies dropped just one after the other. So close. Jordan over to the underhand chop ahead of Dubicki. Watch the pace that Dubicki hits with. On the other side here, both of them through nearly at the same time, locking up their axes in sync. Here's the big bow from Jack Jordan. Oh, that could have been big trouble. Dubicki on the backside. He's got the thinner block. Drops it first, so the advantage here was definitely on Dubicki's side. Jack Jordan He went short on the first side, and here you see slips slightly on a piece of the chips on the ground right there. Oh my goodness, that could have been really bad. Both of them on the second side with each other, and now you can see nearly in sync, and Jack Jordan, just the absolute power he put into this final driver. Perfect placement, absolutely fantastic, and a world record. Defends the title to boot. Nicely done by Jack Jordan.
Jordan!
Unreal, really tough competition today. Everyone was out there pushing me all the way to the end there. I felt like I was chasing the game a bit, so to come away with a win like that at the end, yeah, unreal feeling. It's great to win it back to back, especially after winning it once. You sort of get a feeling of how hard it actually is, so to come back here and win it again is excellent, yeah.
Third place goes to Jason Lenz from the USA, who managed to get there through the small final, taking down Red McNoll. Mika Dubitsky taking second. That's his best rank ever, and for a European, it's the best placement ever in a trophy contest. And here we go. Your reigning World Trophy champion, Jack Jordan. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all she wrote from Rotterdam. The ring is distributed, and it stays on that man's finger right there. Hope you enjoyed the show. Till next time, take care and ciao.